हेलो दोस्तों। मार्गम यूपीएससी में आपका स्वागत है। आज हम लोग यहाँ पे करंट अफेयर करंट अफेयर का डिस्कशन करेंगे, इन विच वी विल लुक इनटू recent current affairs. This will be a quick bits type where we will not discussing in detail. However, we would look into only references and how we can use this current affairs in our prelims or mains preparation. So let's start our discussion. The first news is related to Pankaj Advani, who has won the billiards championship or world snooker championship. The next news is related to coal gasification projects, where Ministry of Coal has received a tremendous response from industry, and the coal gasification is related to our GS3 paper. Especially, one can look into the benefits of coal gasification, especially in context of climate change or greenhouse gas emission. Also, it is also related to economy part, where this gasification, coal the gaseous form of the coal can bring productivity and efficiency in the process of production. The next news is related to renewable energy sector, where Ministry of New and Renewable Energy has released latest data over different renewable energy sources. Especially, this data shows that the installed capacity of renewable energy has increased 13.5%, and the total installed capacity reached to 203.18 gigawatt in October. And this also provides data over solar and wind energy, where it shows that solar power the power electricity from solar projects has also increased by 27.9% up, and reaching to 92.12 gigawatt. This is the latest data which can be used in GS3 environment part, as well as in economy part also. And if we look into wind power, the installed capacity has increased by 7.8%, and it has reached up to 47.72 gigawatt. And uh, at last, the contribution of hydro and nuclear power has also been depicted, where it shows the data shows that hydro projects contributed to 46.93 gigawatt, approx 47 gigawatt, and nuclear power capacity contribute up to 8.18 gigawatt. So these data can be used in mains answer writing, and brief idea about this can help you in prelims also. The next news pertains to biofuel blending, where the data shows that through biofuel blending, 91,000 crore rupees in the form of import bill has been saved. And this data has been provided by Minister for Petroleum and Natural Gases. As we know that India is already or Indian government has already implementing various schemes, or there is also a biofuel policy which incentivize production of biofuels through different sources by categorizing into three or four types. However, there are concerns related to biofuels. These concerns specifically pertains to food security also, where the dilemma related to food versus fuel comes into the picture. So these are the aspects which one can look into the related to biofuel blending. Next, this slide belongs to excerpts from the speech of our honorable vice president, and these quotes can be used while writing essay as well as ethics paper, where he talked about kutum prabodhan, which means strengthening family and family value, strengthening the families and family values. Here we can look into GS4 paper, where there is a specific topic where which talks about role of family in inculcating values. Next quote is, discharging duties as a citizen is best form of national service. This can be also quoted while writing essay or in GS paper 2 also, while writing political answers. And next comes the news from economy GS paper 3, where which shows that the retail inflation rises to 14 months high, especially the CPI inflation, which has breached the 2 to 4%, 2 to 6% limit set by Monetary Policy Committee, which is mandated to maintain inflation in this range. And this inflation is also a cause of concern, because inflation will lead to decline in purchasing power of money, also disincentivize investment in the economy, which will further increase the unemployment rate, which has many repercussions. So this is the crux. Next news comes from pertains to GS3 again, especially environment part. However, this is also a favorite topic of UPSC, especially in recent years, where water crisis has become an highlighted topic. This news states that Environment Ministry has notified new rules for holding inquiry and imposing penalty for violation of Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act. These rules may further strengthen the strengthen the rules. Next news is related to IR section, GS paper 2, where Taliban has appointed an acting consul at Mumbai mission. However, India has not responded. So this will not lead to formal recognition of Taliban government. However, it shows that India's increasing role in Central Asia. It can also cater or normalizing relations with Afghanistan can cater to the interest of India as well. For example, India's reach to Central Asia may increase, plus its energy security can be enhanced by reaching to Central Asia. So these are the areas where we have to look into while looking at this news. Next comes an editorial which says that multilateral institutions can face greater challenges from the winning of the president of USA, newly appointed president of the USA. However, there are concerns related to multilateral institutions like WTO, UN, where the countries from especially from third world are continuously demanding reform in these institutions. So this news can be looked from this perspective as well. Next news is from Manipur, where the violence in Manipur has been not is not being is not is not being not stopping, especially when we look into militancy in Manipur. This article says there is a region where accountability on the accountability on the part of political executive, which is hindering lack of accountability on the part of political executive, which is hindering the solution to the crisis. Next news is related to women empowerment. The author tried to say that still women are women still women re- still women remained most untapped reservoir of labor force, mostly engaged in unpaid works. It also cited data from periodic labor force survey to validate its viewpoint. The next news is related to Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. This year, the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas will be hosted by Odisha, and Pravasi Bharatiya Divas is related to the coming of Mahatma Gandhi, coming of Mahatma Gandhi from South Africa. and it can be related to GS paper 2, Indian diaspora. This event is organized to further strengthen the role of Indian diaspora so that they can actively contribute or actively strengthen their ties or contribute to development of India and become an active partner in economic development of India, especially economic development of India. Next news is from COP29, Conference of Party 29, which is being held in Baku, Azerbaijan, where nations has approved in a significant milestone. Nations has approved new carbon market rules, new carbon market rules under Article 6. Under Article 6. However, this move was opposed by G77 group, calling for a new version. And also, in addition to this, on the part of finance, there is still no consensus has been reached. The next news is from a study which shows that India's fuel-based carbon emission has spiked by or increased by 4.6%. And it has also estimated that global emission has been reached to 37.4 billion tons. The study also shows that if we look into carbon sinks, land and oceans only absorb around half of the CO2 emitted from human activities. Oceans absorb around 26% of the total CO2 emission, and there is also impact of El Nino when it comes to land as a ocean sink. So this is the news related to emissions and a study on emissions. The next news is from space, where the Jurong rover of China is claiming that Mars was a home of billions of years ago. By looking into the geological features of the Mars, here we have to remember only the name of the orbiter and to which country it belongs to. Like the Tianwen one is related to China. NASA has sent Mars or Reconnaissance orbiter, We have already looked into COP29. Next comes the US India trade war. Next news is related to US China trade war. Here we have to look into two aspects where this trade war, how this trade war will impact the world economy, and how this trade war will impact Indian economy. And this impact on world economy, ultimately how this will impact Indian economy as a whole. And what are the measures India need to take to protect itself from these kind of trade war. So this is the news. Again, we have already looked into the COP29, but this is the this slide provides a glimpse into the climate finance, or state of climate finance, where climate finance budget only forms a little part of GDP of rich countries. And also it talks about Glasgow Pact, which say which mandates rich nations to double adaptation finance by 2025 from 2019 level. And also an important thing, this shows that the finance aimed in 2025 is 37.4 billion dollar. However, there will be adaptation finance gap, a large adaptation finance gap that needs to be plugged in as soon as possible if you want to achieve the required goal. Next news is related to National Financing Reporting Authority, which revised audit norms for auditors. This news can be used into corporate governance topic, accountability topic, especially in GS4, how to strengthen corporate governance. Next news is related to innovation, where a report from World Intellectual Property Organization shows that India is among the top 10 country in number of patents, trademarks, and industrial design applications. And this is good news for India. It also shows that India's patent to GDP ratio has been increased from 144 to 381. So this shows that Indian intellectual property ecosystem is being strengthening. So here we have to look into the measures taken by government, and also what are the challenges still existing in the system, and how these can be corrected. Next news is related to, again this is related to COP29, which we have already discussed. Next news is related to monetary policy, where the author advises that Indian Monetary Policy Committee should also takes into account climate risks. Advocates for taking into account the climate risks while ascertaining policy repo rate, so that this rate setting can be become more comprehensive. The next news is related to gig workers, and as we know that gig workers have no social security protection, and the other advocates for social security protection of these workers, especially in context of social security code that is in implementation since 2020. Next news is related to index of industrial production, which shows that manufacturing activities has been uh, uh, surging in the country, which is a good news for Indian economy, especially when inflation is inflation has reached more than above 6%. Next news is related to use of local currency by different countries, which shows that the trend of de-dollarization. There are various advantages of this de-dollarization, where countries use their own local currency by opening bank accounts in respective countries in the form of nostro and vostro accounts. When we look into context of India and Russia, so that they can trade into their own currency. This becomes also crucial in context of global market volatility due to different disruptions or political or economic developments that countries starting trading in their own currency. This is also in strategic and economic interest of India as well. Next in news is related to anti-dumping duty. There are two things. One is anti-dumping duty and one is countervailing duty. Anti-dumping duty is imposed when some other country sell their products in any other country at a lower price, and that distorts the local market and left the local manufacturers uncompetitive. And from saving this distorted competition, the Director General of Trade Remedies implement uh, anti-dumping duty, and this has been imposed in a chemical epichlorohydrin. So this name needs to be remembered, as it can be asked in prelims also. Next news pertains to IBC, insolvency and bankruptcy code, that shows that the performance of uh, this code, and showing the a positive aspect, where this code has strengthened the solvency regime, with firms getting a good deal, and also credit culture is credit culture is deepening, as there is good recoveries under this code. It will further lead to credit by banks or other creditors that will further improve the investment culture in the economy that has different advantages. Next news pertains to advance estimate by agriculture ministry that shows that this year the agriculture sector will show growth from the last year, and it is also a good news when there is high food inflation prevalent in the economy. However, the this article shows certain issues related to minimum support price that needs to be looked into, especially in context of regional variation and a specific crops related to a specific crops as well. Next news is related to India, Middle East, Europe corridor that was announced in G20, which that shows that the crisis in West Asia is hindering the implementation of this, the implementation or rapid pace, rapid pace of this project. And it also speaks about what India can do. Here it speaks about what India can do. That needs to be looked into. Next news is related to GS paper 3, adaptive defense as well as technology and security part plus border infrastructure as well, that calls for continuous innovation so that country can respond to newer forms of attacks like cyber attacks, space wars, chemical weapons, etc. We have already discussed about COP29, carbon credit trade. So that's all for today. Thank you all.